Join me as I take on the challenge of confronting my own confirmation bias and see if I can change my perspective on some hot topics. Confirmation bias is a pretty fascinating topic, and it's something that affects all of us, whether we realize it or not. Simply put, it's the tendency to search for, interpret, and remember information that confirms our pre-existing beliefs. When we're making decisions, confirmation bias can be a real obstacle. We start to only seek out information that supports our initial thoughts, and we dismiss any evidence that contradicts them. This can lead to some pretty poor decision-making, and it can affect our relationships, our careers, and even our personal growth. For example, imagine you're trying to decide whether or not to invest in a new business venture. If you're only looking at data that supports the idea that it's a good investment, you're missing out on a lot of important information that could help you make a more informed decision. And if someone presents you with evidence that contradicts your initial thoughts, you might get defensive or dismissive. This can also happen in our personal relationships. If we only surround ourselves with people who agree with us, we're not getting a well-rounded view of the world. We're missing out on different perspectives and experiences, and we're not giving ourselves the opportunity to grow and learn. Confirmation bias can also affect our personal growth. If we're not open to new ideas and perspectives, we're not giving ourselves the chance to learn and evolve. We might get stuck in our ways, and we might miss out on some amazing opportunities. In the age of social media, confirmation bias is more prevalent than ever. We're constantly being fed information that confirms our beliefs, and we're not being challenged to think differently. We're seeing the same headlines, the same posts, and the same opinions over and over again, and it's only making us more entrenched in our beliefs. In a study published in the journal Psychology, Science, and Public Policy, researchers found that when people were shown information that contradicted their beliefs, they actually became more entrenched in those beliefs. They became more resistant to change, and they started to rationalize away the contradictory evidence. Another study published in the journal Cognitive Psychology found that people were more likely to remember information that supported their beliefs, and they were more likely to forget information that contradicted them. This is exactly what we're talking about with confirmation bias. So how can we combat confirmation bias in our own lives? One technique is to actively seek out information that contradicts our beliefs. Instead of only reading articles or watching videos that support our views, we should make an effort to engage with opposing viewpoints. We should also be more mindful of our own thoughts and biases. When we're reading or listening to information, we should take a step back and ask ourselves if we're being objective. Are we really considering the evidence? Or are we just looking for information that supports our initial thoughts? We should also be more open to changing our minds. It's okay to say I was wrong, or I didn't consider that perspective. It's okay to admit that we don't have all the answers, and it's okay to be unsure. This is where real growth and learning happen. So to sum it up, confirmation bias is a real obstacle that can affect our decision-making, our relationships, and our personal growth. But by being more mindful of our own biases, seeking out opposing viewpoints, and being open to change, we can overcome it. Thanks for watching, and I'd love to hear about your experiences with confirmation bias in the comments below. If you're interested in learning more about cognitive biases, be sure to check out my other videos on the topic.